You know the feeling. You're at a party you didn't want to go to. You've been doing the small talk thing for 20 minutes. You're running on fumes. And then someone sits next to you, says maybe 4 sentences, and something in your chest releases. You don't know why. You barely know their name, but your body made a decision before your brain caught up. That feeling has a name, and it is not chemistry. It is not luck. It is not a vibe. It is your nervous system running a background check, scanning dozens of biological signals in under a second to decide, is this person safe? Psychologists call this process neuroception, an unconscious surveillance system developed over millions of years of human evolution. And in a country where 1 in 2 adults now reports feeling chronically lonely, and where the pandemic didn't just change our social lives, but rewired our threat responses, understanding exactly how your body detects safety might be the most important social skill nobody ever taught you. Before we get into the neuroscience, let's map the signals your brain is actually scanning for, because they are not what most people think. Signal 1, vocal tone. Not what someone says, how they say it. Your nervous system reads prosody, the rhythm, pitch, and warmth of a voice. A gentle variation in warmth activates your ventral vagal state, your body's I'm safe mode. A flat, clipped, or loud voice can trigger a low-grade threat response before the conversation even begins. Signal 2, facial microexpressions. Your amygdala processes faces in under 100 milliseconds before you are consciously aware of what you saw. It is specifically scanning the muscles around the eyes and mouth for signs of genuine versus performed emotion. You can't fake microexpressions for long. Your nervous system knows. Signal 3, eye contact rhythm. Not too much, not too little. The cadence of eye contact, when someone holds your gaze, when they look away, and when they return, is a social negotiation your nervous system runs automatically. Dysrhythmic eye contact, the kind that feels slightly off, is one of the earliest signals your body logs as uncertainty. Signal 4, body orientation and proximity. Whether someone turns toward you in conversation, how they position their shoulders, whether they mirror your posture. Physical openness activates the same safety circuits as a calm voice, and mirroring, when someone unconsciously matches your body language, is one of the most reliable trust signals the nervous system reads. None of these signals require conscious analysis. Your brain is reading all 4 simultaneously in the background the entire time. Here's where the science gets genuinely fascinating. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Dr. Stephen Porges developed what is now called polyvagal theory, a framework that explains how your autonomic nervous system doesn't just respond to the world, it constantly evaluates it for signs of safety, danger, and life threat. The core concept is neuroception, your nervous system's ability to detect and respond to safety and threat cues below the level of conscious awareness. Porges identified 3 autonomic states the nervous system moves between. Ventral vagal, the safe and social state. Heart rate is regulated. Muscles are relaxed. The voice softens. You are open, curious, and genuinely present. This is the state you enter when your nervous system detects a safe person. Sympathetic, fight or flight. When the scanner picks up a threat signal, even a subtle one, the body mobilizes, heart rate rises, muscles tighten, humor gets harder, empathy goes offline. You're not being unfair, you're being biological. Dorsal vagal, shutdown, the deepest threat response, freeze, disconnect, go quiet. Some people recognize this as what happens in large groups, in conflict, or around certain specific people, an almost total internal withdrawal. The critical insight: you are not choosing which state to enter. Neuroception makes that call first. You experience the result as a feeling, comfortable, guarded, or shut down, and then you build a story around it. I just didn't click with them. Something felt off. I don't know, I just trust them. Meanwhile, there's a second biological layer happening: oxytocin. Research shows that oxytocin, the so-called bonding hormone, directly modulates how your amygdala processes faces.
When oxytocin is released in the presence of a person who reads as safe, the amygdala's threat scanning activity decreases, creating that release sensation, that warmth, that sense of being able to exhale. And that quiet? That's what weirdly calm actually is. It's not magic, it's your threat alarm finally powering down. Here's where it gets personal. Your neuroception is not factory set. It is calibrated by experience, and specifically by the relational environment you grew up in. If you grew up in a home where the adults around you were emotionally unpredictable, warm sometimes, cold or explosive others, your nervous system adapted. It learned to scan harder, to stay on alert even in neutral situations, to distrust the calm, because the calm sometimes preceded the storm. Gen X grew up with a version of this that was cultural and structural. Latchkey childhoods, emotionally unavailable parenting norms, and institutions that routinely broke trust. Companies, governments, churches trained an entire generation to be cautious about extending it. For many Gen Xers, safe people detection is less an instinct and more a stress test that takes months. Millennials were the first generation to enter adulthood, having already been burned collectively by 9/11 at formative ages, by 2008 in their careers, and then by a pandemic that literally rewired loneliness as a survival strategy. Dr. Rush at UC Health noted that for many people, isolation during 2020 became an ingrained habit. The internal message became that being alone protects me from these things that are scary and out of my control. Gen Z is doing something completely new and in many ways harder. They are trying to build trust frameworks in a digital environment where voices are text, microexpressions don't exist, and the nervous system has almost none of its biological detection tools available. Their neuroception is attempting to run a program designed for in-person survival inside an interface it was never built for. The anxiety that comes out of that gap is not a character flaw. It is a hardware-software mismatch. The result across all three generations, a nervous system that desperately wants to find safe people and has been trained at various levels to either overtrust the wrong ones or undertrust the right ones. Here's what the science actually offers you. Your neuroception is not fixed. It is trainable, and the process isn't about forcing yourself to trust more or be more open. It is about giving your nervous system enough safe experiences that it updates its threat model. A few specific reframes. 1. Trust the body before the brain. If your stomach tightens around someone who says all the right things, that's data. If your chest loosens around someone who seems quiet or unremarkable, that's also data. Your neuroception has a longer track record than your reasoning. Don't override it with logic before you've listened to it. 2. Safety is co-regulated, not just detected. Research on polyvagal theory shows that nervous systems synchronize with each other. A regulated, calm person has a measurable effect on the nervous systems of people around them. This means a safe person isn't just someone who passes your threat scan. They are someone whose nervous system helps settle yours. That's worth noticing in your current relationships. 3. Expand your safe people window intentionally. Post-pandemic, many people's nervous systems narrowed their circle to near zero. The way back isn't force. It's low-stakes, repeated in-person exposure. Small moments, short interactions. Coffee, not commitment. You're not rebuilding trust. You're giving your neuroception new data to recalibrate from. Here's what I want to leave you with. That person you met for 5 minutes who made you feel inexplicably calm, your neurosystem was not wrong about them. It was doing in milliseconds what most people spend years trying to figure out with logic, reading biological truth beneath social performance. The hard part isn't detecting safe people. The hard part is believing what your body already knows, especially when you've spent years in environments that taught you the feeling of safety was a trap. You're not paranoid. You're not broken. You're not too guarded. You are running a very sophisticated threat detection system that was built for a world that needed it, and now, slowly, you get to teach it that some places and some people are worth letting in. If this gave language to something you've felt but never been able to name, send it to someone in your life who has been calling themselves bad at reading people for years. They're probably the most perceptive person in the room. We're Behaviorology, where the science of human behavior becomes the science of you. Subscribe. People like us don't just feel the patterns, we name them.